welcome back to Combat Mission Fortress Italy, where we're going to give the Italians another run of the company challenge, except this time we're going to do it without using the mortars. This is mostly to kind of scratch a bit of an itch. I don't think this kind of thing deserves the full-on edited video with all the data and the conclusions. We've done that. But I do really want to see how the Italians do without the shortcut. Now, one of the things that I need to decide about the company challenge, we start moving on and putting more companies through it, is whether or not to include things like off-map mortars. On the one hand, it just makes sense. Of course you want to have mortar support for a company attack. All the companies, except the Italians, have organic mortars in their battalion that they would be able to call on, assuming the battalion commander is like, yes, you get some mortars today. The Italians are a bit different, but you know that's a whole nother thing. But then, if you give every company the mortars, then they can all use the mortars, and we're not really testing the strengths and weaknesses of the company itself. We're kind of testing how well it can integrate with fires. And given that we're using the fires essentially to suppress the enemy while we run up a field, I'm pretty confident that every company can run, you know, across that field in the allotted time. I don't think that's a big, wow, didn't see that coming. You know, that's not a factor that's influenced by the TOE. So, it's something I'm going to have to think about as we go forward. But in the meantime, let's see how this goes. Now, I think we might punch up the right with them. So, you know, without using the mortar barrage, going up the middle is probably a really bad idea. So let's punch right. Let's get 3rd platoon. In position here. And we'll stand by to just punch up with them. Or in fact, actually, because 3rd platoon can stay there as the base of fire, so I guess they can sort of see that hedgerow where there may or may not... Well, there is an MG on that hedgerow. Somewhere. So let's keep them there, and let's send 2nd platoon through them to get up to the next hedgerow, and then we can leapfrog. That's the company HQ. That's 2 platoon HQ. Okay, so here we're not interested in how well the company does when it can call on outside support. This is all about how well the company can do on its own. So let's give the fire support a little while to spot targets, and then we will advance. And they are probably going to hedge phase. That is a problem we're just going to have to deal with. It's not exactly game breaking. Right, let's go. Now, is having 40 guys online on that hedgerow gonna make it easier to spot the Germans, which are probably almost certainly there? Well, maybe, but also these guys aren't even under fire yet, so... Yeah, there we go, nothing exciting. I'm not doing this in a tremendous amount of detail, as you might have noticed. I am just gonna... Rush is probably the wrong word, but I'm not gonna... sit and watch every minute, especially if something not tremendously exciting is going to be happening. So here comes second squad, second platoon, making their way up the field. And oh, there we go. Somebody doesn't like us. I think that was just a rifle shot. Yeah, so there's a team in there somewhere. No surprises. Oh, I could have been doing this all the time, couldn't I? There's another gap in the hedge there. Let's start moving the other group up. Really just stack that hedgerow. And where's my platoon commander? There he is. Get him in the middle. Let's see if they take more fire. Or if that was just the one-off. It's not a one-off. They're not spotting anybody though. And they're not coming under fire, and you'd expect them to be more of a target. No, there's no contact icons hiding behind the trees or anything. Alright, whatever. Oh, ooh, we might pause them for a couple of seconds because that squad is a little bit uncomfortably blobbed up for my liking. We'll just get them to stop. And make a bit more distance between them. Ah! A wild MG42 appears. Oh, first casualty. And another casualty. That time it's the team leader, which is just great news. Lucky for them, the ice skating officers have just arrived. And are instantly suppressed. In fact... Oh, there's another casualty. That was actually the platoon leader, okay. Great start. Now, coming into this turn, we need to try and put some return fire out. We need to suppress that MG position. And this is, of course, the team with the dead team leader is the one that has the machine guns, isn't it? That's just, I guess that's just how that works. These guys, the last team coming up, let's give them just a brief target order, because it would be nice to have somebody watching and shooting in case other targets pop up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're getting their fire out, aren't they? Not sure how much it's working. Oh, there's a bit coming back there. Oh, sorry. Oh no, it was the platoon leader, wasn't it? Yeah. For a second, I thought it was the squad leader. And well, he looks suppressed. Oh, they nailed him. Well done, guys. Turns out that having what 36 rifles and 4 light machine guns firing on a single target can actually knock them out. Right, so where do we go from here? I think is the big question. Do we keep these guys online and leapfrog 3rd platoon through them? Or do we try and exploit with these guys and feed 3rd platoon up to replace them? I think the first thing we're going to do is move move 1st platoon down here. Let's concertina. So we'll move up. We'll bring this group up from 3rd platoon because they have some MGs, and then we'll send that group forward along the hedgerow because going this way is probably not a good idea. Oh wait, no, there is actually other fire coming out. Yeah, there we go. So now we have 2 positions to suppress. That's just the rifle squad, isn't it? Or team, rifle team. Oh, that's another man down. Who got hit? It's gotta be those guys. So, do we have to split our fire here? If we get that squad shooting those guys, keeping the MG pinned, then we swap these guys over targeting these guys and get them suppressed. And then when these guys come in, they can join firing on them, which will hopefully free that squad up. You get the idea. That sounded like another machine gun. Another MG42 tone there in the background. But yeah, it's... Aha! Hello. There's an MG42, which is shooting at people going past in the background. Okay, great. Probably was a good move not to go up the field then. But it's going to be interesting to see. One of the things I was talking about in the proper, for want of a better word, video was this idea that the Italians had a kind of firepower to space problem, where they needed lots of firing line to put out the right amount of firepower. But the more firing line you got, the more enemy positions that you uncovered, so the more firepower you need. Yeah. Guess we're testing that today. So you're done. Let's get you running up the side of that hedgerow. We need to check the king count. Then we can start feeding more of these guys forward. And worry about ammunition. Because for all I've been talking about the Italians having a low level of firepower, when you've got a whole platoon firing, as you can see, it is actually quite a lot of firepower. And isn't it a good job that friendly fire isn't a thing? Otherwise, you know, just casually gunning down all the troops there. Oh, well, actually, going up there, they might come in the fire from that MG, might they? But hey, hey, we're committed now, aren't we? How are we doing for ammo? Yeah, they'll probably be fine. They only have 279 rounds because they took a couple of casualties. That's actually one of the problems with tracking casualties by measuring the tracking the ammunition, is that the way Combat Mission models it is that when a pixel Shruffer becomes a casualty, the squad loses their ammo. Which makes sense, and you know, unless you have to go back and reclaim it. So you know, the ammo may be on the battlefield, even if nobody can really use it in the game. That was actually really annoying. I was going to do a because I've been making the the firepower charts. I thought it'd be really interesting to have. Oh, they're on the fire. Oh, man down again. Sucks to be you guys. It would be really interesting to have that chart for two squads engaging each other. You know, that way you could see where the firepower of one dropped off when they became suppressed. Problem is, using ammunition to chart that doesn't work because you get these massive spikes in expenditure when you take a casualty, because you suddenly lose like 100 rounds in one go, and the game doesn't, you know, the way I was doing it is just by differentiating, you know, it's by counting rounds expended, so you have these weird spikes. You guys need to not engage that MG. You guys just kind of need to go over here, and we'll hope that there's nobody there. Which isn't the best strategy. But once they get into this kind of area, at least they should be safe from that MG. There's a lot of ice skating going on. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's an Italian thing. It might be more likely to be a map conversion thing. I don't know. Ah, so we got a guy there, and we've got at least one guy here. So yeah, it looks like we're in business. Again, this is some classic infantry tactics. Your actual assault element doesn't need to be that big. It's the suppression that matters. Providing you can get enough firepower up there to get the job done. And honestly, what we're on, 6 guys with rifles and hand grenades, yeah, should be good. So let's punch them up to that hedgerow there. And because we've brought up reinforcements, we can send the rest of the squad to follow them. Without losing out on the firepower. So let's get the squad leader up there. And let's get them to fire on them. So we might drop down to target light across the board, I think, because we're not getting shot at right now, right? And we are right up close, and I would have expected to be getting shot at by now. He said, dooming his pixel Trepan to instant death. But usually, like, my feel for the kind of like how this scenario usually goes is that I would have. I feel like these guys have probably run away by this point. Would I run away if there were like 40 to 60 Italians shooting in my general direction? Probably. I would certainly, I think, be keeping my head down. So yeah, we don't need to be doing anything particularly fancy here. They can just hold on. We swapped over to target light. I think we can probably bring the rest of 3rd platoon up to get online. Let's give you a timer so you're not all running through at the same time. You can stack up behind the other half of 2nd platoon. I'm going to get these platoon numbers mixed up. Not least because I'm just automatically put off by the Italians having HQ sections for their squads, or HQ teams for their squads. But yeah, that looks good. They got up there fine, didn't they? So they can take over there, and we'll send this section up here just to make sure we're checking that position. Change that over to a target briefly. Drop that one completely, I think. They need to lay off because they are actually going to run out of ammunition. They can switch over to watch and shoot. So I suspect these guys will get engaged by the White House. He's just lurking there. You know, the way that houses lurk. Oh well, we wiped them all out. Though interestingly, I think this is probably something that I failed to correct. I think one of the problems with some of the positioning for the defenders is that I've just kind of plonked them down in the map editor, and by default they're all facing like that way, and they should be facing obviously that way. Oh, hello. Which should explain why some things are in weird positions. So like these guys, because they're facing this way, they're not aligned on the hedge, and they're a little bit back. But whatever. Let's let's keep going. We've got a little bit of a toehold there now. Now you're 3rd platoon. I want you. You guys need to get up. What time are we on? 27. So obviously, this is much slower than advancing under the mortars. By this time in the other game, I think we were already all over this compound. Let's get you guys on that corner and see what you can see in there. I mean, we know that there's an MG there. In fact, let's bring you guys over here as well, and we will... No, let's leave you there. You might see something interesting to shoot at. Yeah, see, there's an MG team, which is just hanging around in the middle of the track, like on the drive outside the White House. That's just weird. Ah, there they are. What are we going to do now? We just decided that we're going to turn away from... The pixel trap, and they're just freaks, really, aren't they? They're just weird. Ah! Meanwhile... yeah, see, again, they've got the same problem, which is that this HMG team looks like it might be straddling the hedge, like the... AT gun was when it was there for the Soviets. Was it for... Yeah, it was the Soviets, wasn't it? Let's bring that team through and they can sort them out. So I don't want to punch that way up there. I feel like that would end in tears. But I am happy to exploit into the middle. This is another reason why I want to change the map as we go forward with the series, because, you know, there's so much predictability to it now. So obviously this has to be my safe staging area as I move up this compound. Going into this one is a nightmare because these buildings have enemy in them. So you have to clear all this out, and it's a pain in the ass. Coming up this way, we kind of just have to cross the road and hook in, and there's not really any options. What am I missing here? Let's get those trees off. Ah, that's the MG team evacuating through the hedge. It seems like the barns are occupied though. So, yeah. Oh, that's the platoon HQ. Excellent. Always want to shoot platoon HQ units. That other squad has come up. Let's just get them deployed on that hedgerow, and we'll just overwhelm the enemy with fire. Just chuck more bodies in there. Because that's how the Italians get their firepower. That's 3rd Platoon HQ, isn't it? You better go up there. And let's start feeding 1 platoon who have managed to take a casualty. Let's start feeding them up to stand by to push them through. Oh, yep, there's another casualty. Potentially, actually, that may have been an embarrassing pistol casualty. Yeah, I think that's a Panzerschreck team. And there's the actual Panzerschreck officer there firing his pistol. In fact, they didn't actually suffer a casualty, did they? He's an existing one. I think, yeah, this guy... That'll go yellow in a second. Yeah, he's just taken like a 9mm round to like his, like, being grazed by it or something. He just carries on. So yeah, Panzerschreck team there. Platoon HQ there. No big surprises here. Well, I mean, there are no big surprises here. This is very obviously significantly more difficult, and I've already taken quite a few casualties compared to the original, but that is kind of in the just in the moving up, trying to win the firefight. When you get into this kind of position with enough bodies online, just cleared up the Panzerschreck team. We're pretty sure, yeah, we're clearing up the platoon HQ, you know. Bish bash bosh, as they might say. Let's give that house a bit of a going over, because we know there's bad guys in there. Get that squad moving up. How are these guys doing for ammo? 296 rounds. That's divided by 9, 10 rounds each. That doesn't sound great, does it? Oh, we upset somebody in that barn, didn't we? Better fill them in. Yep. On the ball there, guys. Well done. Oh, there's the actual lieutenant himself with those fancy German shoot me epaulets. Right, they look like we're probably on top there, so let's just move that team up to secure the barns. You guys need to wait 30 seconds and then push up as well. I think this could be the downfall for the Italians. Just how long it takes to concertina all the stuff forwards. You know, obviously less of a big deal when you can just run up the side of the other field, but here, oh, you know, somewhat problematic. So we're about 10 minutes behind, ish. Have I forgot to tell them to cease fire? No. Shadows, let's turn shadows off. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Obviously this is like an early forerunner of the Philadelphia project. Yeah, Italian secret weapon. But yeah, that is a clear building. Let's check this building next. And then we'll progress down there. Very unlikely, I think, that anybody's there. Simply because they're not shooting at us right now. And that's usually a pretty good indicator that there's somebody there. Reconnaissance by absence of death. Oh, there's a guy trying to surrender. That's awfully helpful of him. So yeah, like I said, the Italians can definitely win their firefights when they can get the bodies online to actually do it. "57 rounds left. What do I even do with you?" Let's put you on flank security and start moving you guys up, because the next phase, obviously, is going to be to punch up here and win this firefight. Which, I wouldn't say I was tremendously optimistic about. but we'll see. Okay, so those buildings are clear. Oh, what just exploded? What just happened there? Okay, I wonder if that's weird hedge. Oh, that was a hand grenade. Was it? Well, I'm asking like it might have been something else, seeing as though the other defenders here don't have any mortars or anything. Yeah, so that's the MG team, which has still managed to take casualties even in that little exchange. So they ran away from that position. Oh, it's marked, isn't it? Oh god, what now? Who is he? Just throwing hand grenades at my guys. Yeah, well, you have that just like that one guy. No, it's somebody else, isn't it? Oh, it might have bit enough more than we can chew going this way. There's just one bleeding German who refuses to give up, sat in the corner with a stack of hand grenades. Ugh. You know, a die-hard Red Orchestra, pre-Red Orchestra player who's just like, no, I refuse to die before I throw my hand grenades. No, let's get you on the inside and get the MG squad on the slight outside. Yeah, I think, and we'll keep you as reserve. God knows what I'm gonna do with you lot. I think there's somebody in this building here. So here, at least, we are getting the what happens if you can't mass enough people to get the job done. Answer is everybody dies. It's horrible. Let's let them run up for another turn, and then we can start bringing the. Was that second platoon or third? I said I wasn't going to be able to figure out which platoons I've got going on here. Oh, now he's remanned the MG. Well, this is a problem that we need to fix. Can you just take out 3 in a row? Oh no, only 2. But he's got the enfilade across here, and these guys are going to have to run through. See, this is where, with some of the other units... Oh, that's another hand grenade. And there's a pistol going off now. Maybe he fired off all the ammo from the MG. Or maybe we're not done yet. Yeah, so there's got to be another team there somewhere. That's getting messy. Like, it's just a big stack of bodies. All I want you to do is go up to that hedgerow and see who's shooting at you. But here we get into a problem, right? So we have small frontage. The enemy's got the drop of them. They can't build up the firepower to suppress them. What do? We can not engage, which, I mean, we can pull out of it and just say, nope, not playing your game, which, to be fair, is probably the smart option. That'll work against the AI. Ain't going to work against the human player, because the human player will be like, awesome, that works really well. Now I'm going to mortar this compound. So I think we're going to have to... I want to deal with them. It's actually quite interesting. I don't think we've had a proper fight over this little compound before. So let's bring another squad over. The main event can wait. Let's bring these poor guys over. They can have a go. Of course, the problem is, I mean, I can cheat, and I can just kind of... Oh, we don't need the hedge phase, can we? We can just come up here, and we can shoot the snot out of that building from there. Yeah, that'll do. I was thinking that I was going to have to run all the way down here to find a gap in this low bocage, which I wasn't really prepared to do because they're going to get shot by everybody if they go over there. So I was prepared to go hedge phasing. Also, as you might have noticed, something that may or may not work against the human opponent, there is a little bit of tension, is I'm basically... This is like my waypoint, for want of a better term. I was going to say RV. It's not really a rendezvous point. Like this area here, this is like my concentration point. So everything that comes up is hanging around this little pond. You know, they can, I don't know, have a very brief swim. Just flop into a pond on a farm. That's a real good way to get ill. Before they move off somewhere else. Not a problem against the AI. Against the human player, it's a sensible waypoint position. I would have a TRP on it if I had TRPs on such a tiny map. And you just start dropping RT on it, or mortars. You know, there's an element of predictability to it. On the other hand, predictability is something that you really need to try and balance out against the idea of proven paths. So I know, because I've done it several times now, that I can run troops up here without getting engaged by the enemy. And, you know, in a more fluid situation that might change, because a human opponent might bring something up to, say, this hedgerow and start engaging them in the field, and I've got a whole nother bleeding problem to worry about. And it, you know, there's no mines, there's no no barbed wire obstacles or stuff like that, which we just haven't run into yet. We know it's safe, so we go that way. So there is an element in all of this of trying to balance out. That's where those bastards are. That's going to be just the fire team. Well, you can see them. Shoot them. Or that'll happen. Ugh. I shouldn't be so dismissive, actually. That was not a very nice scoff, I guess. The reality is that there's two MG42s there. That is an atrocious amount of firepower for a tiny little area like that. And these guys are... I think anybody would have a bad day here. The biggest problem has been not so much that they don't have the firepower, though, I mean, that's going to kick in at some point, I guess. It's a lot more... it looks like we nailed some of them. That, you know, they got... the enemy got their hits in first, inflicted a massive ton of casualties. They're in a really bad morale state. So, you know, once the enemy's got fire superiority and punished you, it can be real difficult to build the momentum back up and actually start doing things instead of just lying there waiting to get shot. So, you know, that is just how it works. I think any troops would have had the same problem. But now they're clearing up. Now the boot's on the other foot. Oh, right until this hand grenade comes our way. I think he's throwing a hand grenade. He might have just been reloading. Yeah, I just saw him going for his belt, so I was like, oh no, not again. God, what are you shooting at? Oh. The AT gun is... again, facing the... yeah. I really should have fixed this. But, okay, whatever. So again, it's facing that way. It's straddling the hedge in a weird way. Whatever, it's fine. You guys are suppressed. You guys are suppressed. You guys commence magical hedge phasing, and then shoot the snot out of that building. And we'll move the squad leader up. Let's actually bring these guys out this way to a position where they can engage the White House. Because we know the White House is going to be a problem. That is a given. Nope, that's the wrong command. I don't want you to do that. It doesn't matter, but I don't want them to do it. And let's bring our final squad up. And I guess the platoon commander. Have I left all of my platoon commanders here? Almost. That was smart, wasn't it? This is what happens when you have too many HQ elements. So they're going to polish those off. These guys are going to run through this hedge. And get massacred by the guys in this barn because actually... Yep. Oh, did he happen to be reloading at exactly the right time? That was a problem for the Germans. Oh, we might have polished them off. Yeah, nothing like a Braider M30 to the face. Yeah, more casualties over there. I'm really racking them up in this one. I actually can't remember. I should have written down before I started what the casualties were for the Italians in their original run. But anyway, that is at least the White House being pretty occupied there. I think that's going to open us up the opportunity to punch in here and make sure we overwhelm this house. Blue 2. God knows what. It's just a big pile of bodies over here. I shouldn't laugh, it's horrible. You guys need to get in there and follow up. Even though you'll probably get engaged by enemy in those houses over there. But we'll deal with that. You know, maybe we can jazz things up and try and punch through this compound. I think the point about how difficult it is, or how comparatively difficult it is, for the Italians without having the mortar support. I think that point has been made. Oh look, a random couple of Germans just sitting in the middle of the road. Makes sense to me. I actually wonder if they were this MG team here and they've somehow ended up in the middle over there. They're definitely having a bad day though. And oh, is the White House giving up? What kind of weirdness is this? Oh, best to take advantage. It's my reserve. You guys need to get in there, I think. Yeah, actually, it looks like these guys are doing okay in there as well. That's interesting. Though I think we can amalgamate this squad now. I don't think there's enough bodies in there to. Yeah, let's keep them there as the reserve and bring these other elements up. I think there's still enemy in blue 1. I think that's house blue 1, and they're just going to massacre these guys, I can just tell. Them and their tiny amounts of ammunition. Yep. Called it. It's fire team on fire team combat, and it is not going well for the Italians there. But hopefully they've given these guys a window to get in there. Though, I mean, to be fair, they're hanging on. They're not dead yet. If we can reinforce them or get some more firepower in there. Assuming the 2 survivors, well, survive. Okay, yeah, let's get the ball rolling on that. Do we think it would be too much to run these guys and just assault that house? I mean, nobody's shooting at them right now. The platoon HQ was in that barn, so it's probably not in the yellow buildings there. Let's give them a bit of a time, a bit of a delay, so this squad gets in there, and then we'll just punch it in there. This is a terrible idea. I hope everybody realizes how terrible an idea it is. It's not great. But we are running low on time. We're gonna have 13 minutes left at the end of this turn, and we're not across the road yet. That entire team got wiped out there. But hopefully, influx of new bodies, we're going to have... That's the Germans. Yeah, there are... We're now sharing the building. And I bet these Italians wish they had a submachine gun, because they just got... Oh, not schwacked that bad, I guess. Oh, hang on. Oh, there's more random... Oh. That's the HM... I don't know what those guys are doing. That's that survivors from that team running off. Into the fire of these guys. So yeah, that's... I'll take that. Urban warfare remains messy as hell. let's see, can we just sprint you guys over there? This isn't even your platoon. Whatever. And then we can get around the back. Though that said, you know, this side might be clear, mightn't it? I'm really getting everybody mixed up here. Oh, one guy did survive in that team. Good for him. Now, the other time we did this, I think it was a similar layout. There was the HMG up there enfilading the road, so let's see if these guys can get across without getting shot. Oh, there's guys there as well. Oh, that's nice. Well, don't stop there. Well, they made it. Take that. They can go clear out the White House. This is just going to be some lone... I assume this is the Panzerschreck team. But yeah, that actually worked. Probably shouldn't sound as surprised as I am. In fact, maybe we can just run them across. They're surrendering, so there's probably not that many enemy around. He said, dooming all his men to a horrible death. You can run up there. You can wait a little bit, and you can run up there as well. And where's your platoon, or squad leader, rather? You better just get over there too. You guys can stack up to make the run. Oh, I forgot to watch these guys. Yeah, they actually got there okay, didn't they? So maybe we're going to be able to progress up this way. That would be interesting. We haven't gone this way before, have we? Let's bring you back around to keep that squad together. Are they going to get machine gunned? The other thing about having the big squads in CM is you can see they keep running into the back of each other, so they're just kind of clumsy. Which is a problem. A non-trivial problem. But yeah, looks like we've done that okay. You better run across as well. And where's the other bit of that squad? They're there, aren't they? Let's bring you into the allotment. Don't think it's really an allotment, but whatever. Cottage garden. I think it probably is something like that anyway. I'm really getting all my little bits of units mixed up here. Yeah, let's send this squad that made it across. You guys need to yeah, so we're gonna be checking these out soon. We're gonna push into this way. Let's get this squad go around the back, because the enemy are still hanging on, which probably means that there's some stuff over on this side. Or, alternatively, there is a machine gun behind them. Well done, Hapless. Nothing like getting a little bit overconfident. Though that appears to be the longest hand grenade throw I've seen a CM soldier do for ages. Ooh, that's a long way. I don't think it got anybody, but it was quite impressive. So I guess we'll postpone going that way for a moment. And sort these guys out. That's probably a good move. There's usually somebody in that building. There isn't this time, but by them popping up there, they'll be able to take anybody here under fire. There are frequently people there, which should be a thing because we're going to go into that building on that side and kick a firefight off. I've managed to have 3 things going on at wildly different parts of the map. That's annoying. All those buildings could be clear. Oh, look. Oh, there are those guys. It's that MG team. Well, problem solved now, though, I guess. Yes. Okay, now that's out of the way. We can get back to going this bloody way. So, yeah, this is pretty much just confirming everything, I think. I'm not getting any major surprises here or anything. We've just got that, you know, when you can outnumber the enemy, like we did just there, it's fine. No problems. Meanwhile, down here, if the enemy gets the hits in first, and you don't have the space to bring other units in to build that fire superiority, then, you know, it's a bad day. They just decided to randomly surrender. Okay, makes sense to me. Yeah, no surprises for the stuff that's left there. How many guys did these guys get? Only 4? Oh, there's a random whole fire team hanging around there. Okay, whatever. What about these guys? How many of these guys? They got 5. They got 6. So we took 11 casualties in this area. I guess -1 because that MG team got somebody over there, didn't they? Oh, who's that? That's the 1st Platoon HQ. Okay. I just forgot about them. That was yeah, well done me. So, yes. I'm actually not sure on the casualty front. What did they take? 27? I can't remember if that's more or less. But still, pretty significant. And obviously, it took longer. And there were some stress points. Like that team in there got 8 casualties. Pretty much wiped a whole fire team out in there. But yeah, I think it also highlights some of the stuff that I want to address as we try some modern stuff. I'm thinking maybe Cold War next, because we can have a smaller sample size and refine the format. I really want to do Shock Force because there's loads of different companies in Shock Force. But at the same time, I don't want to jump into doing like a series of 8 and get halfway through it and be like, you know what, actually this format maybe not be working the way I want it to. So, you know, the problems with this, you know, we've had units in silly places. facing in silly directions, like the AT gun. There was just a random HMG team, just casually hanging around in the middle, in the open there. Stuff like that is legacy stuff on the map conversion process. A bit like the way the Bocage is not impassable. So yeah, that is kind of realistically, that's just a World War II game problem, or even specifically a Battle for Normandy problem, because all the other games have like the low bocage representing kind of just thin hedging, as it were. And they all basically treat it the same way. So that's what Final Blitzkrieg, in fact, actually, it's just bocage as in this is impassable, a big impassable hedgerow bocage from Normandy is the outlier. So even having maps that don't have bocage on would transfer back into Battle for Normandy. So I probably just picked a bit of a dud map. But anyway, hopefully that was interesting. The Italians certainly tackled this slower without having the mortars, but they also did pretty well in places. If we look at these guys, this whole squad got wiped out by area fire. This whole squad got wiped out by area fire. Sure, they got some hits in, but at the same time, that did demonstrate that the Italians can actually compete if they're on equal terms. If you can get a whole platoon shooting on one or two contacts, then actually you can put out a lot of firepower. Even if some of these units are pretty low on ammunition. Well, not those guys, because they didn't fight. Like these guys have 25 rounds left between casualties and expenditure. But hope you all enjoyed that. Like I say, the aim is to move on to Cold War next. I have a bit of a scenario planned out, which hopefully will alleviate some of these problems, but of course it's probably going to introduce new ones. But that's going to be really interesting. I will catch you in the next video.